that'd be nice. Okay, right, so like I say, I'll try and make it as quick as I can because I know everyone wants to get on. So just to quickly talk about ARM, again, Lucas already introduced it briefly, so I won't go into any details, but just to jump in, ARM now has GPU. So along with the CPU IP that everybody's familiar with today in all mobile phones, tablets, etc., we also have now GPU IP to complement this. So, and a lot of the guys, the OEMs, operators, silicon guys, are looking at anything with a screen today. They want to put a GPU in because that's one of the key ways that they can differentiate their products. And to that end, launched recently, AT&T have now finally got the Samsung Galaxy S2 out there, which has the dual-core Cortex-A9 and a quad-core Mali 400, and it's probably the most powerful smartphone out there today in the Android on the Android scene. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about graphics. Jump in here. So what I'm trying to say here is you have great gameplay, but what's everyone looking for now today? They're actually looking for the visuals to step up their game. So you know, there's a lot of AAA console guys, PC developers looking at wanting to bring their content now down to the mobile, so that they can now see a revenue stream from that. So there's a couple of examples here that we have today running on Mali, actually on the quad-core Mali. So we have a demo on the left-hand side that we can run at 1080p high-end console quality graphics running on the Odroid platform that Lucas showed earlier. We also have another game on the right-hand side. We've been working with a company here in the Bay Area. Can't say who it is yet, but we're actually going live with this in the marketplace on this Tuesday coming. However, you have to bear in mind that with a mobile device, you're limited to your GPU clock, your memory bandwidth. You have a lot of restrictions placed upon your development. So how can you get this kind of console quality graphics out? So to that end, we have today our performance analysis tools. So it's a GPU targeted tool. Excuse me. Actually, you can run an instrumented set of drivers on your device. When you run your application on that device, it spits out a lot of data for you. So it gives you all the counters from off the GPU. It gives you the GLES calls per frame, and it gives you a rendering, frame buffer rendering per frame as well. You can take all this data, plug it into the performance analysis tool, and you get basically what you can see on the right-hand side. So you get lots of information presented to you, all the counters, you can see where all your bottlenecks are within your code. So the things that we try to point out with this that you can look out for are you can look at the draw order for your rendering. So you know in Mali typically you should be looking from a front to back render order. And you can look at the number of draw calls that are being made. You know, you need to limit them from your CPU so you can batch them up. If you have static objects in your scene, you should be thinking about actually buffering them up as vertex buffered objects so you don't have to keep writing them out. Just lots of little things like that. This tool's available on malideveloper.com, which is lots of other tools and information there. So I just want to quickly show you what we can see with in videos form. So this is captured from an Odroid. Ignore the 4 times full screen anti-aliasing at the top. This demo is not running in that. But you can see it's running around 7 FPS. It's quite slow. You can see the jaggies on the columns, so there's no full screen anti-aliasing. We took this, we run it through the performance analysis tool, and we noticed that there's the CPUs. There's no CPU culling taking place, so you know you're not cutting out all the scene you can't see from the CPU, and you're sort of relying on the GPU to do it all. It wasn't using compressed textures, so there was a lot of hit and miss. Your hit miss cache performance was poor, and finally we noticed that one of the lighting shader was actually there was too many lights in the scene, so it was a very large shader, and again you were getting a poor load store performance in your cache. So we corrected all of this, and this one runs. Where's it going? And again, you see now. We corrected all of these things within the code. It's a much faster performance on there. You can see that there's actually full screen anti-aliasing now turned on. Oh, I can't see the thing on the screen, sorry. So again, correcting this, you can get a solid 25, 30 FPS that we got out of this, and we have full screen anti-aliasing turned on, and you're not taking a performance hit on the GPU. Check. And so finally, there we go, just to say, we have sort of our DevRel engineers here today. We've got Stephen, Anthony and Stacey from our media processing division. Bring your application along, APK, we'll put it onto one of the devices we've got. We can run, we'll run it, we'll take the data, we'll analyse the data for you, with you. We can give you the data to take away so you can download the PAT tool and have a play with it yourself so you can get a feel for it. And we'll advise you on what optimisations we can see within your application. And finally, one last thing, we announced earlier we've got 2 Samsung Galaxy S2s to give away at the end of the day as well. Thank you very much.